Hi everyone, it's Ethony and welcome to the first video of a new series. I'm officially making it a series called Ethony Geeks Out, and this is where I'm going to talk about all of the geeky things that I love. It's going to be a lot of movie reviews and a lot of talking about the movies and if there's any kind of magic or intersection of magic, myth, because being a witch I'm all into that. And talking about those connections and just talking about all the fandoms that I really enjoy and maybe don't enjoy, but talking about the elements that I do. So I've done a video on Wonder Woman and on Thor, but they were a part of more of a general chat. So now I'm actually going to make a series of these videos. And the first one we're going to talk about is Justice League. You can't save the world alone. Justice League, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Okay, so now that little dancing Lego is over. Spoilers ahead. I'm not going to go through what happens in the film, but I will talk about certain things that happen if they were a part of the narrative that I'm going through. Spoilers. And yeah, so first of all, I'm going to go through the things I didn't like, and then I'm going to go through the things I did like. I liked her, so we'll be getting to her. So, things I didn't like. I am not a fan of Zack Snyder's directing style, and I'm not a fan of his work overall. I understand that he has a very visualistic style of filmmaking. I liked 300, I liked The Watchmen, but I also understand that the source material was incredible and he literally lifted what was put on the pages by Alan Moore and brought it to the film, to the big screen, and I think I'm very grateful for that to have happened. I haven't liked anything else since then of his. And if you actually go to somewhere like Rotten Tomatoes and have a look at his score, he's got terrible scores for film. I did not like Batman vs Superman, and I can do a video on that if you guys want me to. I have a large catalogue of stuff that I've watched. I did not like it at all. I did not like it. No, I did not. I did not like Suicide Squad. And these are all movies that I paid money to go see. I love going to the movies. I love nothing more than going and seeing a film on the big screen. I saw Wonder Woman 3 times on the big screen. I love going to the movies. So I wasn't expecting to like this movie. Here's the thing though, I actually did like this movie a lot more than I thought I was going to. So while I'm going to go through the stuff that I didn't like, including Zack Snyder to begin with, I actually enjoyed the film. I messaged my sister straight away because she was supposed to come with me, and I said, you know what? I was expecting to really dislike it, especially coming off of how much I loved Wonder Woman. I thought I was going to be really disappointed. And I said to her, you know what? I wasn't. I didn't love it. I didn't think it was going to be great. I didn't think it was going to be Civil War. I didn't think it was going to be Homecoming, Spider-Man Homecoming. But I really thought it was fun. It was a fun film. There were some problems with it and there were gaping holes, but I enjoyed it. So there we go. I'm not a hater. I'm not a DCCU hater. It just wasn't great, guys. It was enjoyable, but it just wasn't great. It was a step, as many people have said, it's a step in the right direction if they're going to course correct the DCCU. And what they're going to do, who knows, because it seems to be a production freaking nightmare over there. So you can tell very much what parts of the film are Zack Snyder and which parts are Joss Whedon. So Joss Whedon came in after Zack's family suffered a horrible loss, and they swapped it out, and his writing title got taken away and it now says Joss Whedon on the Internet Movie Database. So I feel a lot of it was rewritten in regards to the actual dialogue between the characters, and you can tell. So I am a huge Joss Whedon fan. I've watched everything he's ever made, and I can tell that when something is a Joss Whedon. Now, I would be really surprised, for example, if the scene where they're sitting together in the carrier craft, and Aquaman starts talking very deeply and stoically and says things very honestly, and then Wonder Woman takes away her truth lasso, and he's like, God, like, I'd be surprised if that wasn't Joss Whedon. You know, there are just certain things that how he writes, how he interacts with dialogue between people is very Joss. Like, the Avengers was very Joss. All of the banter, very Joss Whedon. So there are things that you can tell are totally his swap. I would have liked to have known whether he would have gone down the Steppenwolf point of view. So the second thing I really didn't like, besides the fact that I'm really not a fan of Zack Snyder, is the bad guy. Steppenwolf was so shit. Lex Luthor was bad. Let's put it this way. He was bad in Batman versus Superman. So bad. And thank God we don't even get to see him until like 2 seconds right at the end. But hopefully they, again, course correct him and make him an actual threat and not just some freaking annoying kid who's throwing a tanty and needs to be slapped upside the head. And not that I would slap a kid upside the head, but he was acting like an adolescent, and it was just really annoying for someone who's meant to be Lex fucking Luthor. Anywho, so Steppenwolf is this huge, giant CGI mess, and they do not explain jack shit. Like, at the end, it's like, what happened? Where did the boxes go? Where did he go? How did that... What? And then you read some of the leaks online about why he calls this thing mother and how it was supposed to actually have his mother trapped inside it. That makes so much more sense. But again, they like change so much that you're just like, what the shit? Like, he was just such a non-event. He was just so annoying. I feel like Superman's line where he's like, is this guy still bothering you? I was like, yes, Superman. Yes, he is still bothering me. And can you please do something about it? Because he was just really, he was a nothing. His cronies were nothing. I really did like the way that they dissolved with the pattern with when you see them for the first time and the guys hanging over the edge, and like, I liked that. That was really cool. But Steppenwolf was freaking stupid. So I didn't like that. The battle sequences, they were pretty good. I enjoyed it from a perspective. It was like a popcorn film. There was not really a lot of things that I really disliked. The story was kind of lame. I mean, I guess that's a big one. The villain and the story were bad. They were very hard to find any real care factor when you knew everyone was going to come out of this one. You're just like, yeah, whatever. They're forming the team, you know. It was also said that because they got so much criticism, this being the DCCU universe, Warner Brothers got so much criticism, they made it lighter. So they took a lot of Cyborg's backstory out, which is a real damn shame. They also didn't really explore the Flash, but he's getting his own movie, and I really hope Cyborg does too. I think he did a really good job. He did a really, really good job. So that's that. There's something that's niggling in the back of my mind. I will get to it. I really like Jeremy Irons as, it's going to really annoy me now. Alfred. I really like him as Alfred. I love the fact that he's got like cargo pants and he kind of looks like an old general of an army. So let's move on to things that I liked. What did I like? Oh, okay. One of the real pet peeves that I had about this film was the way that they treated Wonder Woman. And yes, I'm going to get on my feminist bitch witch rant. There is a scene where so at the end of Wonder Woman, she hears something and she goes flying off into the sunset. And I feel like that could have been very easily tied into the way she kind of shows up in the film at the bank. It's a bank. No, the Ministry of Justice. It's like a courthouse where she shows up. So that could have very well have been that, although I think she was in the UK, so maybe not. I don't know. But it tied in quite nicely, I thought, anyway. So there's a scene and she is getting the lasso and she's standing up on a large banister. I don't know what you would call it. I'm not an architect. And she's pulling a guy up and she's like, what are you doing? Who do you work for? Where are you here? And the upskirt shot, right up her skirt. She wears nothing to begin with. I mean, she wears more than like this Wonder Woman, but she's barely wearing anything. And she's like legs are in a stance where you would have to lift someone up. So her legs are open pretty wide and they go right up her skirt twice. Or maybe it was like 3 times. And it's not that I don't think she's not a gorgeous woman and the human body is, you know, something to be ashamed of. But she is so objectified by the male gaze in this movie fucking again because it's fucking Zack Snyder. It makes me so mad because she just had this incredibly empowering film and then it's like the first time we see her, straight up to her coochie. And it's like, really? Did we just go back another 15 steps? It makes me so fucking angry. And I saw a clip about how a lot of the Amazonians are now wearing bikinis rather than their full armor. Now, a few of them were, not all of them were, a bunch of them were actually still wearing the old armor, but you could tell again they've been male objectified, and it's just like, you know, and the shots between, like, she's walking to meet Cyborg and it's like right up her butt again. It's like, and the other thing is, well, I mean, even the guys get it a little bit. Like when Superman wakes up, again, spoilers, when Superman wakes up and he like shoots up, it's like, where the fuck did his shirt go? Where did his shirt and jacket go? He just like rips out of the ceiling. He's like half naked. Like, he's not the Hulk. He just came back to life. So was he really hot and he just stripped off? I mean, like, I don't get it. It was really lame. And at the beginning, there was a section with Superman where he's talking about what he liked most about Earth. And you can tell that someone was reading the Tumblr memes that were going around about how Superman never smiles, because he smiled a lot in this movie. Someone got the feedback and they were like, we better make Superman smile in this movie. So that was quite funny. Yeah, I liked Jeremy Irons as Albert. I thought he was really cool. The way that everything was done. I actually really was looking forward to seeing Jason Momoa as Aquaman. They had to shove a lot in under 2 hours because apparently there was a mandate from Warner Brothers not to make the film more than 2 hours, which is a real damn shame because they cut a bunch of stuff about Cyborg and the Flash and just, it sucks. You can have a really good film over 2 hours. People will sit through it. It just has to not be garbage. Funny. I liked the cast. I thought the Flash was super funny. He had all of the comic relief lines, well, pretty much all of the comic relief lines. I loved that they didn't change his character. So something that I feel has beginning to happen less now, but has happened a lot in the past, is that you get dumped in nuclear whatever waste, get bitten by a spider, whatever it is, and all of a sudden you become like a martial arts expert. Like, what the fuck? Is it like some Matrix thing that's plugged in the back of your head and all of a sudden you like can fight crime? So stupid. So there's a lot of that kind of has gone around on TV and that kind of thing, and it's just so boring and basic. But what I love what they did with the Flash was that he doesn't know how to fight. He even says it, I don't know how to fight. This is not, I push people and run away. And he slowly finds his confidence with working with these people. One who is a god, you know, one of them who is an alien and pretty much a god. So he finds his way with all these people, these superheroes, but he doesn't all of a sudden have all these super ninja skills. So I really liked that part of it. I liked a lot of the stuff that they sewed in about like his movie that's going to come up. I loved the race between him and Superman at the end. I liked the very little we saw of what Lex Luthor was getting up to at the end. And again, I really hope they course correct, because I'm going to find it very hard to like that actor in that as that character. But I do really like who they've cast as Slade, I think his name is, in at the end where they show who the bad guy for the next one. I really like that. I think they really underutilized Amy Adams yet again. Oh dear, she's just there for the benefit of Superman. She's got no arc of her own. She's got no character development whatsoever besides being sad because she lost her fiance, and yeah, that fucking sucks. But especially when he's that hot. But there's nothing for her. She's just like, I'm sad and I'm going to be used. And if anyone didn't put together that she was the big guns, I'm like, really? Like, it was said in Batman vs Superman that she was the key. That was so predictable. It was all very predictable. It was just very predictable. But it was fun predictability in a way. I'm looking forward to seeing Aquaman. I really love Jason Momoa. I think he's a great pick considering that his culture is one that is very connected to the ocean. It's, you know, like I've seen, like it's a perfect fit. I would have been really pissed if they'd chosen a white guy with blonde hair to play a god of the ocean, a king of the ocean, of the water, as he says, when it's like, just, it would have been bad. But the comics, Arthur Curry is a blonde white guy, so I'm glad that they didn't go down that road. I did feel as though at the beginning of the movie where they said the 3 tribes of Earth, the Atlanteans, the Amazonians, and men, I was like, oh, it's a Lord of the Rings! We're having a Lord of the Rings battle at the beginning. The 3 tribes of men, the elves, men, and dwarves come together to fight this one big bad off. And they don't have rings, they have boxes, they have mother boxes. So it felt very Tolkien. I'm like, did we all just sit around one day and just be like, yeah, or was that in a comic somewhere? Someone tell me. Because it seemed really like, really okay. We're doing that then, we're committing. So it would be really interesting to see what happens with the Atlanteans and how they do Atlantis. I loved that we got to see a little bit of it and, Mara's power and how she works with water. It was very cool. I liked the battle scene. I think the battle scene with the Amazonians was amazing, how they were trying to get this mother box away from Steppenwolf. It was so well done. I will literally go watch anything with Wonder Woman and Amazonians. Take me to Themyscira right now. So I liked it from an entertaining point of view. It was a pretty weak story, really weak villain. I actually like Ben Affleck as Batman. I don't hate him. I think he has copped a lot of flack for no reason. I think he was a really cool choice for like an older Batman who's gone through a lot. And again, we've had so much of his story just stripped away from him because they didn't execute it well in other movies, or they've been holding on to it for too long because we don't care. You should have told us what happened to whichever Robin has met his ugly end with the Joker right the way back at Suicide Squad, to give us to give the Joker some menace and to give us a caring factor about why Batman's such a douchebag in Batman vs Superman. But they didn't. They've been holding it on to it for too long for this new movie that's probably going to suck too because they don't know what they're doing. Someone needs to go over there and like fucking, I don't know, they need someone to go in there and course correct it even more. I hope maybe Joss will stay on, or they'll find someone who can go and help because good Lord, they need it. I find it interesting. We did see a few gods, which was really cool again. I thought that was great. We saw Zeus for a few minutes when they talked about from the Lord of the Rings battle at the beginning. You saw Zeus, Ares, and there was a female goddess. I'll have to look her up. She could have been Artemis, probably was Artemis. That was pretty cool, like to see them again. So the gods in this in that battle were a lot taller than the Amazonians, so you actually knew quite easily that they were the Olympian gods that were coming to help. But there were only 3 of them. There were 12 Olympian gods, so it would have been really cool to see all of them, even just if it was like a flash, because I love me my Amazonians and I love me my Greek mythology. But we didn't. But it was still cool to see Zeus and the other gods in action, and maybe we'll see a little bit more of them from another Wonder Woman movie. Maybe not, considering they're not there anymore. They're all dead. Or are they? You never know. Gods are tricky like that. But yeah, I hope this is a direction that they're going in a good way. It was fun. Didn't hate it. It was okay. The story was pretty meh. What did you guys think? Has anyone seen it who watches my videos? I know that I don't talk about geeky stuff very often. Next time I will try to have a bit more structure. This is the first time I've really done one that's just kind of like off the cuff freeform. I will definitely be doing a video for the new Star Wars movie. I also will be talking about how I view the Force and the dark side and the light side of the Force. So I can't wait to talk about that from a metaphysical standpoint, because I've read a lot of the comics and I've read a lot of the books. I'm a fully fledged geek over here. I'd love to hear what you thought of Justice League if you've seen it, and if you have any requests for movies for me to review that are of a geeky nature, let me know. And thank you so much for watching.